I believe these belong to you.
What? I don't understand.
How did one joke about Paris end with me being served papers in a bright office lobby while people stared? Why did my husband stay calm for weeks, then let a legal notice hit me in public like a spotlight? I thought I was the main character until the result landed in my hands. My name is Rezia Caldwell, and I always thought I was the kind of woman who deserved more than a quiet life. I worked as a project coordinator at a marketing firm, and I was good at it. I kept lists, I fixed problems, I made other people look organized. That should count for something. In my head, it meant I earned rewards. That morning, I stood in our kitchen and watched Ethan move like he was trying not to take space. He was making coffee the same way he always did. He asked what I wanted for breakfast. I said I did not have time. He looked at my phone because it kept lighting up. He asked if I had a big week. I said I always had a big week. I had an email open from work. It was about a client week in Paris. It was not even final, but it felt real enough for me. I liked how the word Paris looked on the screen. It looked like a door out of my normal life. Ethan asked why I was smiling. I said I was just thinking about work. He asked if I was traveling. I told him I might. I said it was a reward for my results. He asked if it was confirmed. I said it did not matter yet. He asked for the dates. I said I did not know. He said our shared calendar was empty. I said he did not need to track me like a child. I could feel myself getting sharp, and I liked that feeling. It made me feel in control. Ethan looked tired and calm at the same time. He asked why I sounded angry. I said he always made things about him. Ava came in rubbing her eyes and holding her stuffed rabbit. She asked if I was going somewhere. I told her Mommy might go on a work trip, and that it was normal. Ethan asked if Ava could finish her cereal. I said Ava was fine, and I kissed her head quickly. I did it like a task. When Ethan drove Ava to school, I stayed behind and checked the email again. I knew it was early to talk about Paris, but that was the point. I wanted it to be a thing. I wanted people to look at me like I was special. Ethan did not do that anymore. He looked at me like I was a person he had to understand, not a prize he had won. At work, the open plan office was loud with keyboards and small talk. I walked in like I owned the air. Damien Leclerc, my boss, called me to his glass office. He said I had been strong on the new account. He said the client liked my energy. He asked if I was ready for bigger rooms. I said I was always ready. He mentioned Paris like it was already decided. He said it would be good for my growth. He asked if I could handle travel on short notice. I said yes. He smiled in a way that made me feel chosen. He did not touch me or say anything dirty. He did not need to. His attention did the work. Later, near the printers, 2 coworkers asked what Damien wanted. I told them he was finally seeing my value. One of them joked that I was going to get the Paris treatment. I laughed and said some husbands could not handle a wife with ambition. They laughed too. I felt warm in my chest, like I had won a small war. In my head, I already wrote the story. I was the hard-working woman. Ethan was the insecure man. If I said it first, it became true. That is how I survived things. I controlled the frame. During lunch, I texted Ethan that I might need help with Ava's schedule soon. He replied that he could help and asked what dates. I did not answer the date question. I wrote that it was not set and told him not to stress me out. He wrote that he was not trying to stress me. He wrote that he just wanted to plan. I rolled my eyes at my screen. After work, I told Ethan I was meeting friends. He asked which friends. I said he did not need a list. He asked when I would be home. I said late. He asked if we could talk first. I said there was nothing to talk about and that he should trust me. The wine bar patio was full, and the heaters made the air smell like hot metal. Cara Whitlow and Dina were already there. Cara asked if I had news. I told her Damien might take me to Paris for a client week. Dina made a face like she was proud. Cara said I deserved it and asked how Ethan was taking it. I said Ethan was acting weird. I said he always tried to make my success feel like a problem. Cara told me to post something because people love a glow-up. Dina said it would be funny if I did it in front of Ethan. I laughed, and I liked how easy it was to turn my life into content. I opened my phone and took a photo of my drink and the city lights. I wrote, "Boss is taking me to Paris. Some husbands can't keep up." I did not name Ethan, but everyone who knew me would know. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself it was a joke. I told myself Ethan needed to learn that he could not control my mood. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. Within minutes, hearts and laughing emojis came in. A coworker replied that I was a star. Cara shared it. Dina replied that Ethan had to step up. Each little reaction felt like a vote for my side. When I got home, the house was quiet. Ethan was in the kitchen wiping the counter, even though it was already clean. Ava's backpack was lined up by the door. Ethan looked at my face like he had been waiting, but he did not rush me. He asked if I had fun. I said yes. He asked if we could talk about the post. I said it was not a big deal. He said it made him look bad. I said he was choosing to feel bad. He asked why I needed to say, "Husbands can't keep up." I said it was a joke, and that if he was confident, he would laugh. He asked if Damien was really taking me. I said Damien took teams places all the time. Ethan said he had never heard of that. I said that was because Ethan did not understand my world. He asked if I wanted him to understand. I said he should just support me. Ethan did not shout. He did not call me names. He just stood there, breathing like he was holding something down. He asked if I was happy. I said I would be happier if he stopped questioning me. He said he was not trying to control me. I said his questions were control. Then his phone buzzed on the counter. A small calendar alert popped up, and I saw the words, "Meeting personal." It was set for later in the week. I tried to glance longer, but he turned the screen face down and slid the phone into his pocket. He did it smoothly, like a habit. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself it was probably a work thing. I told myself I did not care. But my stomach tightened anyway, because his calm felt new. He rinsed his mug and put it on the far side of the counter from mine. I watched him do it, and I felt annoyed for no clear reason. I asked what that was about. He said he just wanted space. I said he was being dramatic. He said he was tired and asked me to let him sleep. I went upstairs and scrolled through my post again. I considered changing it, but I liked the attention too much. I told myself Ethan would get over it like he always did. Downstairs, I heard Ethan's phone buzz one more time, and then everything went still. The next day, I woke up feeling proud of myself. I still think attention is proof. If people clap, then you did something right. Ethan was already up. He made Ava's lunch in silence. He asked if I wanted coffee. I said yes, like I was doing him a favor. He looked at me for a second and asked if we could talk later. I said there was nothing to fix because I had not done anything wrong. On the way to work, my phone kept buzzing with replies to my story. Cara sent a screenshot of my post with more hearts under it. Dina told me I looked unstoppable. I replied with laughing emojis and wrote that some men need training. I liked how it sounded. It made me feel like the teacher, not the problem. At the office, the conference room smelled like dry markers and old carpet. Damien stood at the front with a laptop. He asked if everyone was ready for the client push. I said I was ready and that I could handle any pressure. He smiled and said the client likes strong people. He mentioned Paris again, not loudly, but clearly enough. He asked if I could be flexible with travel. I said yes, and looked around the table like I was already chosen. After the meeting, 2 coworkers followed me into the hallway. One asked if I was really going. I said it looked likely. She asked what my husband thought. I told her Ethan was proud but nervous. That was not true, but it sounded better than hurt. I said he was the type who needed extra reassurance. I said it like he was a child. They nodded like they understood. Damien called me into his office again. He asked if everything was stable at home. I said it was fine. He asked if Ethan supported my career. I said Ethan tried, but he did not get the industry. Damien said that was common, and that success can make people insecure. I agreed fast. I wanted him to think I was a strong woman dealing with a small man. I checked my phone and saw Ethan had texted me. He wrote that he could pick up Ava if I was working late. He asked again about dates. I wrote back that it was not final and that I did not need more questions today. He replied that he was not trying to argue. He wrote that he just wanted Ava to feel stable. I did not answer that part. I hate when he makes me sound selfish with one calm sentence. At lunch, I sat with Cara at a cafe near the office. She asked if Ethan had calmed down. I said he was sulking. She asked if I wanted to post more about Paris. I said maybe, because people love a story where a woman rises. Cara said, I should not let a basic man dim me. I laughed and said Ethan should be grateful I stayed with him this long. When I went back upstairs, I passed the copy room. I saw Ethan's name pop up in my mind for no reason, and I felt annoyed at myself. Then, I saw Damien by the printers, and the feeling changed. He asked if I could stay a bit after work to finalize a deck. I said yes right away. I told myself it was professional. I told myself I was building my future. That afternoon, I noticed Ethan stopped calling. Usually he would call once, then text, then call again. This time, there was one message and nothing else. It made me itch. I told myself he was doing it to punish me. I told myself he wanted me to feel guilty. I decided I would not give him that. After work, I went to pick up Ava because I wanted to look like the good parent. The school pickup line was slow. Ethan was there too, which surprised me. He stood near the gate with a calm face. He asked if I wanted him to take Ava home. I said no, because I was her mother. He said he was not challenging me. He said he just wanted to help. Ava ran to him first and hugged his leg. That made me feel strange. I told myself she was just in a phase. Ethan asked Ava about her day. She said she drew a picture of a plane. Ethan asked where the plane was going. Ava said Paris and giggled. I felt a quick sting, like the joke was no longer mine. Ethan asked if we could talk in the car for 2 minutes. I said we could talk at home. He said he had an appointment later. I asked what kind of appointment. He said it was personal and that it was on his calendar. I said he was acting secretive. He said he was trying to stay calm. On the drive home, Ava talked about snacks and a classmate's birthday. I nodded, but my mind was busy. Ethan's calm felt planned. I did not like it. I like when he reacts, because then I can point at his reaction and say he is the problem. We stopped at the supermarket. I needed a few things, and I also wanted to show Ethan I was not afraid of public spaces. I grabbed fruit and cereal while scrolling my phone. At the checkout, Cara called me. I answered on speaker because I wanted Ethan to hear that my friends were on my side. Cara asked if I was still going to Paris. I said it looked like it. She asked if Ethan was still being weird. I said yes and made my voice louder. I said he panics when successful men travel with me. I said he should be proud, not jealous. I knew people around us could hear. I wanted that. A woman behind us glanced over. Ethan stood still and looked at the gum rack like it was interesting. Ethan asked me quietly to stop. I said he was embarrassing me by policing my words. He said he did not want a scene. I said he was the scene. I told Cara that Ethan was standing there like a sad anchor. Cara laughed and said he needed therapy. I smiled. On the way out, Ethan paid without arguing. He carried the bags. That annoyed me more than if he had snapped. In the car, he asked why I needed to talk about him like that. I said he always made me the villain. He said he had not called me a villain. I said his tone did. At home, Ethan took the groceries to the kitchen and lined them up neatly. Ava went to her room. I followed Ethan and told him he needed to stop being sensitive. He asked if I could respect him in public. I said, respect follows results, and I had results. He looked at me like he did not recognize me. Later, I went upstairs to change, and I heard a printer noise from the guest room. It printed one page, then another. When I walked past, the door was almost closed. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing household things. I said that sounded fake. He said I could think what I wanted. That night, after Ava fell asleep, I scrolled my post again. A few comments were harsher now. One person wrote that I sounded cruel. I felt angry at the stranger. I told myself people hate confident women. I almost replied, but I stopped. I did not want cracks in my image. Ethan did not come to our room. I heard him moving in the guest room. Then I heard a low shredder hum, steady and quiet. It went on for a while. I stared at the ceiling and told myself he was being dramatic. I told myself he was trying to scare me with sounds. Then it stopped. The house felt too still, like it was holding its breath. The rooftop bar was loud and bright, and I liked it because loud places hide small doubts. Kara said it was a birthday gathering, but it felt like a stage. The city lights looked like they belonged to me. I wore a dress that made me feel sharp. I told myself it was confidence, not a warning. Ethan came because I told him he should. I said it would be good for him to see my world. He asked if he had to go. I said yes, and acted like it was a normal request. He drove us there, and on the ride he asked if I could keep things calm. I said he was already planning to be offended, and I told him not to ruin my night. When we arrived, the hostess led us past a line of people. Kara waved like we were celebrities. Dina was there too, and a few coworkers I barely liked. Damien was not there, but his name was in my mouth anyway. That is how it works. If you say a name enough, the person feels close. Kara asked if Ethan had apologized yet. I said he had not, and I said he was still acting insecure. Ethan heard it, because I did not lower my voice. He looked at the floor for a second. Then he looked up and asked if we could just enjoy the night. I said he always wanted peace when he should want growth. Someone handed me a drink. I held it like a trophy. Dina leaned in and asked if Paris was confirmed. I said it was basically confirmed, and that Damien was taking me because I was the one who carried the project. I said it like it was an award ceremony. Kara said I should toast to that. We moved to a tall table near the edge of the patio. The wind was cold, but the heaters made it bearable. People laughed, and phones were already out. I could see one coworker holding his phone in a way that meant he was recording. I noticed it, and instead of stopping, I felt excited. I wanted proof that I was admired. Kara raised her glass and asked everyone to toast. She said I was leveling up. Dina said I was going international. I smiled and waited for the right moment. Then I turned toward Ethan, still smiling, and asked him if he was proud of me. He said he was proud of my work. He asked why we had to do this in public. I said because public is real, and private is where people hide. I told the group that my boss was taking me to Paris because I earned it. I said some husbands can't keep up with a wife like me. I said it like a joke, but I watched Ethan's face to see if it landed. People laughed. Someone clapped. Kara said that men need to understand what they have. Ethan asked me to stop talking about him like that. I said he was making the moment about himself again. A coworker asked Ethan if he was okay. Ethan said he was fine and that he did not want attention. I said he always said fine when he wanted to guilt me. I saw Ethan take a step back from the group. He stood near the railing and looked out at the city. He did not look angry. He looked empty, and that bothered me more than anger. I wanted a fight, not silence. Silence makes me feel like I am shouting into nothing. I walked over to him and asked why he was being rude by leaving the group. He said he just needed a minute. I said he was trying to embarrass me. He said he was not. He asked if I could stop using him as a prop. I said he was dramatic and that I was just joking. I went back to the table and leaned into the attention again. I let Kara take photos. I let Dina tag me. I posted another story, this time a short video of the toast moment. I framed it so Ethan was in the background, half visible. It felt powerful. I told myself it was honest. A coworker asked if Ethan would come to Paris too. I said no, it was a work trip, and I said Ethan did not belong in rooms like that. I said it softly, but people heard. Ethan heard too. He looked over, then looked away. After an hour, Ethan asked if we could go. He said Ava would wake early, and he wanted to be rested. I said he was trying to control my fun. He said he was not controlling, and he said he just wanted to leave before things got worse. I told him nothing was worse, except his attitude. We ordered a rideshare because I wanted to keep drinking, and I did not want to ride in his silent car. In the elevator down, Ethan stood far from me, like we were strangers. I asked if he was going to punish me all night. He said he was not punishing me. He said he was choosing peace. I said peace was just another word for quitting. In the rideshare, the driver played soft music. The city moved past the windows. Ethan asked why I needed to humiliate him in front of people. I said I did not humiliate him. I said he humiliated himself by being insecure. He asked why I kept bringing up Damien like a weapon. I said Damien was part of my career and that Ethan should not be jealous of success. Ethan said he felt small when I talked that way. He said he did not want to be my enemy. I told him he was making himself small. I said if he acted like a strong man, people would respect him. I said I was trying to help him. That was my favorite trick. I said harm was help. He asked if I even liked him. I said I loved him, and that love should not mean I had to shrink. He asked why love in my mouth sounded like a speech. I told him he was twisting my words. He got quiet again. I stared at him, waiting for anger, but it did not come. When we got home, it was close to midnight. The hallway light was dim. Ava's door was closed. Ethan went to the kitchen and filled a glass of water. I followed him and told him he needed to stop being distant. He asked if I could take down the story that mocked him. I said he was asking me to erase my life for his comfort. He said he did not want strangers laughing at him. I said strangers do not matter, but I knew that was a lie because strangers mattered to me more than anyone. He asked what I wanted from him. I said I wanted support and admiration. He said admiration cannot be forced. I said then he was choosing to fail. Ethan walked toward the stairs. I asked where he was going. He said he was going to sleep in the guest room again. I said he was acting like a victim. He said he was tired, and he said he would not argue tonight. As he turned, I saw his phone in his hand. The screen showed my story. His finger moved, and I realized he was saving it. He was not replying. He was not begging. He was collecting. My chest tightened, and I told myself it was just him being petty. Upstairs, Ava's door opened. She stood there with her rabbit, eyes half closed. She asked why we were awake. Ethan told her softly that everything was okay and that she should go back to bed. I said we were just talking. Ava asked if Mommy was going to Paris. I said maybe, and that it was exciting. Ethan said it was a work thing and that Ava would be safe. Ava asked if Daddy was mad. Ethan said he was not mad at her. I watched him choose his words carefully, like he was walking around glass. That made me feel like the villain, and I hated that feeling. I told Ava she should not worry, and that Daddy was just tired. Ethan guided Ava back to her room. He tucked her in. He came out and passed me on the landing without touching me. I asked if he was going to ignore me forever. He said he was not ignoring me. He said he was setting a boundary. Then he went into the guest room and closed the door. The click was quiet, but it sounded final. I stood on the landing for a long time, staring at the door like it had insulted me. I told myself he was being cruel. I told myself I was still right, but my phone felt heavier in my hand, and the city lights from my story suddenly looked cold. The dinner was Marlene's idea. She said she wanted everyone together, like a reset. She said Ava missed normal family time. I agreed fast because I wanted witnesses. I wanted Ethan to be the one who looked difficult. If he stayed quiet in public, I could say he was cold. If he spoke up, I could say he was rude. Either way, I could win. We met at a family restaurant with a long table and bright lights. The kind of place where the plates clink and the air smells like grilled onions. Gavin was there first. He stood up and nodded at Ethan, like he understood something I did not. Marlene hugged Ethan and kissed Ava's head. Marlene gave me a short hug, like a duty. Dinah came late, with Cara on her phone, because she wanted to document the vibe. Ethan sat beside Ava, not beside me. I pretended it was fine. I said I liked space. Dinah asked if Ethan was still sleeping in the guest room. I said he was being dramatic and that he needed time to accept my career. Ethan did not answer. He asked Ava what she wanted to drink, and Ava said she wanted apple juice. Marlene asked me how work was going. I said it was going amazing and that my boss finally saw my talent. I said I might go to Paris for a client week. I said it loud enough for the next table to hear. I watched Ethan's face while I said it. He did not flinch. That made me angry, so I pushed harder. I said Damien trusted me more than most people. I said the company was investing in my future. Dina smiled like I was a winner. Cara held her phone up like she might take a picture of my Paris face. Gavin asked if it was a team trip. I said it was mostly me, because I carried the project. Marlene asked, careful if Ethan was comfortable with that. I said Ethan should be proud, not controlling. Ethan looked at Marlene and said he was proud of my work. He said he just wanted respect at home and in public. I laughed, like he said something cute. I told him he was turning dinner into therapy. Ethan said he was not trying to fight. He said he was stating a need. I said his needs were always rules for me. Marlene asked me to stop mocking him. I said I was not mocking him. I said everyone was too sensitive. Dinah told Marlene that this was just modern marriage. Gavin did not speak for a moment. Then he asked Ethan if he was okay. Ethan said he was okay, and that he did not want to argue in front of Ava. That line made me feel cornered. When he says Ava's name, it sounds like he is the responsible one. I told myself he used Ava as a shield. I told myself I was still the good mother. I reached for Ava's hand and asked if she wanted dessert later. Ava nodded, but she kept leaning toward Ethan. Food came. People tried to talk about school and weather. I kept sliding back to Paris. I did it like it was an accident, but it was not. I asked Ethan if he could watch Ava while I was away. I asked him if he could handle bedtime alone. I said it with a smile, like I expected him to fail. Ethan said he could handle it. He said he had always handled it. He said he already knew Ava's bedtime routine. Marlene looked at him like she was proud. That annoyed me again. I said he was only acting perfect now because people were watching. Ethan said he did not need an audience to be a parent. Dinah leaned close and whispered that Ethan was trying to look like the hero. I whispered back that he always performed when he was losing. Kara posted a small clip of the table with a caption about family vibes, and I knew Ethan was in the background. I told myself it was fine. I told myself public life is real life. After dinner, we walked outside. The air was cold, and Ava asked to stop at the small playground across the street because she saw the swings. Marlene said yes. Ethan took Ava's coat zipper and fixed it. I watched his hands move with care, and I felt an ugly jealousy. At the playground, Ava climbed up the steps slowly. Ethan stood close enough to catch her, but he did not touch her unless she asked. I sat on a bench and scrolled my phone. Dina sat beside me and asked if I was still posting about Paris. I said yes, because I did not see why I should hide success. Dina said Ethan needed to accept he married a woman with options. I said I had always had options. Ava came running back and asked me if Paris was far. I said it was far but beautiful. She asked if she could come. I said no, it was for work. She asked if Daddy would come. I said no, Daddy was not part of it. I said it like a fact, like a boundary I owned. Ava looked at Ethan and asked if he was mad. Ethan knelt so he was at her level. He said he was not mad at her. He said adults were working things out. He said Ava was safe and loved. Ava asked if Mommy would leave like a long time. Ethan said Mommy might travel, but Ava would still have both parents. I did not like his calm answer. It made me sound unstable without saying it. I told Ava she did not need to worry, and that Daddy was being serious for no reason. Ethan looked at me and asked me not to put Ava in the middle. I said Ava asked, and I answered. I said he was the one making it heavy. On the drive home, Ethan did not talk much. He asked Ava about her day tomorrow and told her they would make pancakes on Saturday. He said he would write it on the fridge so she could see it. Ava smiled. I stared out the window and told myself he was trying to win her. At home, I went to the kitchen and saw something different on the desk. There were folders stacked in a neat line. One said utilities. One said household. One said bank. The labels were plain. The stack looked like it belonged to a stranger who lived in my house. I asked Ethan what that was. He said he was organizing. He said it was normal and that it would help everyone. I said it was weird and controlling. He said it was responsible. I said he was acting like I was dangerous. He said he was acting like life was real. I reached for the top folder, but he moved it back. He did not touch me. He just placed his hand on the stack, like a stop sign. He said those were private for now. I asked what for now meant. He said it meant what it meant. He said he was done arguing in circles. I walked to the drawer beside the desk and pulled. It did not open. I pulled again. I felt heat rise in my face. I asked why it was locked. Ethan said he needed some things secured. He said it was temporary. I said he had no right to lock me out in my own home. He said he was not locking me out of the home. He said he was putting boundaries around certain things. He said I could call it what I wanted, but he would keep doing what was sensible. His voice was calm, and that calm felt like a wall. I heard a small click, like a lock settling. I stared at the drawer and told myself he was bluffing. I told myself I could still control this story, but my hand stayed on the handle. And for the first time, it did not feel like my house was fully mine. I told myself the next week would prove I was right. If I could just get to Paris, everything would settle. That is what I believed. I kept thinking Ethan would see my value when I came back with stories and photos. I told myself he would stop acting like a wounded man and start acting like a supportive husband. On Tuesday morning, I walked into the kitchen and saw 2 mugs on opposite sides of the counter again. Mine was by the sink. His was by the window. It looked like a message. Ava was at the table, drawing a plane on scrap paper. Ethan packed her lunch without looking at me. He asked if I could confirm my work schedule for the week. I said my schedule changed fast, and he needed to be flexible. He said he could be flexible if I was honest. I said I was honest, and that he just did not like what I said. I dropped Ava at school because I wanted to look normal. In the pickup line, other parents waved, and I smiled like my life was perfect. I texted Damien after that. I wrote that I could meet to finalize the plan. He replied fast with a short message and a location pin. I told myself it was only work. At my office, I acted busy on purpose. I walked fast. I talked loud on calls. I wanted people to see I mattered. Kara had posted another clip from the rooftop bar, and I liked the comments under it. Someone wrote that Ethan looked sad. I replied with a laughing emoji like it was nothing. I told myself public opinions were proof, not poison. Around noon, I told my team I needed to work late at a co-working lounge. I said I needed quiet to finish a deck. A co-worker asked if I was going to meet Damien there. I said it did not matter, and that we all needed to be adults. I liked saying adult, like it made me the mature one. I drove to the co-working place anyway, just so my story had a real location. I checked in. I bought a coffee. I opened my laptop and made sure the screen looked serious. Then I left after 15 minutes and walked 2 blocks to a small restaurant where Damien was waiting. He asked if I was stressed at home. I said Ethan was making things hard. He asked what Ethan was doing. I said he was acting cold and controlling. Damien said some people cannot handle ambitious partners. I agreed too quickly. Damien talked about the Paris schedule. He said the client wanted early mornings and late dinners. He said we would need to look sharp and stay close. He said it like a plan that included me. I nodded and smiled. I did not say anything that sounded like a promise, but my heart acted like it was one. When he asked if Ethan was okay with it, I said Ethan would deal with it because this was my career. On the way back to my car, I turned off my lock screen previews. I deleted a few message threads. I told myself it was privacy. I told myself Ethan did not deserve access to my life if he kept judging me. That is how I kept my conscience quiet. If I call it boundaries, it sounds clean. That evening, I stopped at a print and ship store. I had clothes I said were for the client week. I packed them into a box with care. The clerk asked where it was going. I said a hotel address that Damien had texted me. My hands were steady, like I had done this before. When the clerk handed me the receipt with the tracking number, I tucked it into my wallet behind my ID. When I got home, the garage light was on. Ethan was there, standing near the shelves like he was checking what belonged where. The car was pointed toward the street, not tucked in deep like usual. A small new key was on his keyring. I noticed it because it caught the light. He asked how my day was. I said busy. He asked where I worked. I said the co-working lounge. He said he hoped it went well. His calm felt fake. I asked why he was acting like a robot. He said he was trying to keep things stable for Ava. I said he used Ava as a shield again. He said he was not shielding, he was prioritizing. I walked past him toward the house, then I turned back and asked if he wanted to talk or not. He said he could talk if it was respectful. That word made my skin itch. Respect feels like a rule that only applies to me when he wants it. I told him he was being controlling by setting rules. He said he was not controlling me. He was controlling what he would accept. Inside, Ava was already in pajamas. She ran to Ethan first and asked if Saturday pancakes were still happening. Ethan said yes, and he showed her a note on the fridge. The note was neat. It had times. It looked official without being official. Ava smiled and went to brush her teeth. I watched her trust him and felt offended, like her trust belonged to me by default. After Ava went to bed, I tried to start a fight on purpose. I asked Ethan if he was jealous because my boss valued me. He said he was not jealous of my work. He said he was hurt by my disrespect. I said he was just mad I had options. He said marriage is not a game of options. I said marriage should not trap me. He asked if I was going to Paris alone with Damien. I said it was a work trip. He asked why I shipped a box to a hotel. I froze for half a second. Then I said it was normal to send materials ahead. I said he must have snooped to know that. He said he did not snoop. He said the tracking alert went to the shared email account. I said then he should stop reading shared emails like a detective. Ethan walked to the guest room desk and opened his laptop. I saw a spreadsheet on the screen with rows and columns, but I could not read the headings. He closed it when he noticed me watching. A soft beep sounded from his phone, like a recording app starting or stopping. I told myself I imagined it. I told myself he was too calm to do anything real. I followed him into the hallway and asked what he was doing on that computer. He said he was organizing. He said he was taking care of household matters. I said he was acting like I was a threat. He said he was acting like life had consequences. I went to our bedroom and grabbed my phone. I started to type a post about controlling husbands, but I stopped. My thumb hovered. I remembered the locked drawer. I remembered the folder labels. I remembered how he saved my story instead of arguing about it. For the first time, posting did not feel like power. It felt like leaving fingerprints. I went back downstairs and tried a different tactic. I softened my voice. I asked Ethan if he still loved me. He said love was not the same as trust. I said he was punishing me for being successful. He said success is not an excuse for cruelty. I said he was exaggerating. He said he had proof of what happened, and he did not need to debate reality. That word, proof, hit me like cold water. I asked what proof. He said I did not need details right now. He said I had choices, and he had choices too. I tried to laugh, like it was dramatic. I said he would never leave because he was too soft. He looked at me for a long time. He did not blink fast. He did not look away. He asked me to stop humiliating him in public and stop twisting the story. I said he should stop acting like a victim. He said he was not acting. He said he was done pleading. He said he would handle it properly. I wanted to say something sharp, but my mouth felt dry. He walked back toward the guest room, and the door shut with a calm, final sound that made my chest tighten. I walked into the office tower like nothing could touch me. I told myself Ethan was bluffing. I told myself he would cool down and come back to normal. I even checked my phone to see if he had finally texted an apology. There was nothing from him, only a school reminder and a shipping update I did not want to think about. In the lobby, I saw Damien near the coffee stand. I waved like we were a team. He asked if I was okay. I said I was great and that Paris was still on. He smiled, but his eyes looked away fast. Then a woman in a plain suit stepped in front of me. She asked if I was Rezia Caldwell. I said yes and asked who she was. She said she had legal documents for me and asked me to confirm my address. I said she had the wrong person. She said she did not, and she held out an envelope. I tried to walk around her. She said she could place it in my hand or at my feet, but service would still count. I grabbed it because people were watching. 2 coworkers slowed down near the elevators. One of them stared at the envelope like it was a fire. I looked down and saw my name printed clearly. My mouth went dry. I opened it with shaking fingers. The first page said it was a divorce filing. Another page listed temporary orders. It said we would use a set schedule for Ava starting now. It said there were rules about money and accounts. It said we would communicate only about the child and logistics and not in public posts. I laughed once, too loud, and it sounded wrong. I told the woman she could not do this to me. She said she was not doing anything and that she was only delivering papers. I rushed to Damien and asked him to help. I said Ethan was attacking me because he was jealous. Damien stepped back. He said he could not be involved in my marriage and told me to speak to my own counsel. He said the Paris trip was on hold, and his voice went formal, like a meeting ended. I called Ethan. He did not answer. I texted him that he was cruel and that he was embarrassing me on purpose. He replied a few minutes later and said he would follow the temporary plan and would only discuss Ava by text. He said he was handling it properly. My phone buzzed again. It was Marlene. She said she was at the school pickup line and that she had the paperwork instructions. She said Ava was coming with her today, as written. She said Ethan would pick Ava up tomorrow at the listed time. I looked up and realized the coworkers were still there, pretending not to listen. The elevator doors opened, and I could not move. The papers felt heavy, like they had weight beyond paper. I stood in the lobby with my name on the top line, and for the first time, my story was not mine to post.